Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the troublesome reign of King John, and today we get to hear from Arthur in Act 1, Scene 2. Now, Arthur actually has the better claim to the throne of England in this than King John does, because Arthur is the son of Geoffrey, who was the younger brother of King Richard the Lionheart, but he died before Richard did. So technically the line of succession, since Richard didn't have kids, should have gone, or any living kids, should have gone to Geoffrey and then Geoffrey's kids before it goes to John and then John's kids. But Arthur also being young, John just sort of took the throne. So Arthur's mother, Constance, has gone to France to see if King Philip of France will help defend her son's right to the throne, which he is. In Act 1, Scene 2, we are outside the walls of Angiers, where King Philip yesterday was like, we're ready to lay siege, and I would have knocked this town to the ground, but we have to wait first and see if maybe John will do the reasonable thing and just give you the crown because it's supposed to be yours. We sent Shakesyear as a messenger. We just need to wait for him to come back. But we are like ready. If he's not gonna just give up the throne, then we are starting a war like right here, right now. And Constance was like, well, I mean, there's a possibility that John could do the right thing, right? And Arthur says, oh, mother, possession of a crown is much. And John, as I have heard reported of, for present vantage, would adventure far. The world can witness, in his brother's time, he took upon him rule and almost reign. Then it must follow, as a doubtful point, that he'll resign the rule unto his nephew. I rather think the menace of the world sounds in his ears as threats of no esteem. And sooner would he scorn Europa's power than lose the smallest title he enjoys. For questionless, he is an Englishman. So what Arthur is saying here is there is absolutely no way on this planet that John is going to give up the crown easily. He's like, I heard, because historically Arthur was pretty young at this time. Shakespeare's King John still puts him fairly young. This Arthur feels maybe a little bit older and wiser just because he's using more adult language. But he's like, I've heard that even while Richard the Lionheart was king, John was trying to rule and maybe even trying to reign. Like he was taking power even then when his brother was king. So there's no way that he's just going to give up the throne to his nephew. Like, that's not going to happen. He would do anything to keep his throne because he's an Englishman, and that's what Englishmen do. And Louis the Dauphin responds saying, like, what, Englishmen are the only people that can be like this? English people are great people. He's like, I'm French and I'm here to fight for you. So you might want to say some nice things about the French. Like, not everybody that comes out of England is so great. So, like, say some nice things about the French. And Limoges jumps on there too, and he's like, yeah. And don't worry about a kid. You have the rightful claim to the throne. Like, we're all fighting for you. We know that it shouldn't be John, it should be you. And then Shakesyear arrives, and the king's like, Shakesyear, what is King John's answer? And he's going to tell us in the form of a monologue that we will hear tomorrow. So I will see you then for that. Mwah.